Welcome to the next in this series of our daily conversations for the Second Amendment Foundation. I'm Paul Lathrop. We're talking today with Dave Kopp of AZCDL. That's the Arizona Citizens Defense League. Dave, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, happy to be here.
So let's talk about AZCDL, or Arizona Citizens Defense League. How did that get started, and how far back does it go?
Well, officially, we started in 2005. Basically, what happened was a bunch of us, we had been members of a group called Grassroots, which was a fairly, activist group, but a little unfocused. And it kind of dissolved. So a bunch of us who had been members from Phoenix and Tucson area, we got together and said, you know what? We need to replace this with something focused, a focused, solid grassroots effort from the Arizona folks to make sure that the legislature is paying attention to pro-rights, pro-gun issues. And so that's basically how it started.
Okay. So early 2000s. Now, that was before, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but constitutional carry had not come to Arizona yet, had it?
No, we got that done in, I want to say 2010, if I remember correctly.
So obviously AZCDL had something to do with that. Would you say that's one of your victories that you guys have had?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That was our original draft bill that then Senator Russell Pierce ran for us. NRA supported it, et cetera, et cetera. So, we all got together and pushed it. It finally came across.
Okay. All right. So what are some other things that AZCDL does?
Well, basically, that's what we focus on. We're a public policy group. We want to get good stuff through the legislature. We want to stop bad stuff. Unfortunately, here in Arizona, and a lot of people I think don't really realize this, there's a whole lot of bad stuff that gets introduced. So that's one of our primary focuses, to make sure that doesn't go through. And of course, with the coming election, that could change if the majority flips. So.
Sure. So, and I would imagine I've heard of cities, and I'm very sorry I don't have any current information up in front of me, but I've heard of cities in Arizona that have wanted to initiate local gun control laws, and I believe Arizona has state preemption, correct?
We do, yeah. And we've made it stronger over the years. It's another one of our ongoing projects is to keep pumping that up. We have had issues with several cities, most notably Tucson, who some years ago decided in contravention of state law that they were going to destroy guns that they had confiscated, even though state law specifically says you can't do that. And so they basically maintained, well, it's our property. We've confiscated it. Therefore, it belongs to us. We can do what we want. It's not a gun issue. It's a property issue. That went all the way to the Arizona Supreme Court, and they lost.
Very, very cool. What are some other things that you're working on right now?
Well, right now, everything's kind of in flux because nobody knows what's going to happen in the next election. We've got a few things set aside if things go well. We've got strategy set up if things don't go so well. But, it's anybody's call at this point.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you've got to be able to go both ways depending on what happens when the polls close.
Absolutely, yeah. And our biggest thing, last year, a couple of anti-rights Dem senators introduced assault weapons bans, so on and so on. They do this kind of thing every year. But last year, it went viral. Internet site, I can't remember the name, Guns and Gadgets, I want to say. They had done a thing on it, and boom, I mean, all of a sudden, tens of thousands of people, what's going on? Why is this happening in Arizona? So thank God for the power of the internet, but it got a lot of attention, and we were able to get across to people, yes, we deal with this every year, and if the majority flips next year, it's going to be a real issue.
So, and just to make sure that all the people who are viewing this are aware, we record these ahead of time. And Dave, to let you know, this one is going to actually release the day after Election Day. So people are going to know what happened by the time they watch this. But let's say that things go really well, both on the federal and the state level in Arizona. Are there still issues that need to be made better for gun owners in Arizona?
One of the things that we've had an ongoing fight with everybody at the legislature, Republicans, Democrats, is this issue of carrying in public buildings. It's banned here in Arizona. You're not allowed to carry in a public building if it's posted, and they all are. And so one of the things we've been pushing for several years is some way to change that so law-abiding citizens can carry a gun in a public building. I mean, after all, you are forced by necessity to go to public buildings. Let's say you're called for jury duty or something like that. This is not a choice that you make. They are telling you you have to be here. And then they're telling you, and oh, by the way, you can't defend yourself while you're here. So, and then of course, none of them take any responsibility for that. Well, we don't have security. We don't have anything like that. But, it's okay because nothing will ever happen. Our guys refer to that as the magic force field mentality. So, one of the things we've been pushing and we will continue to push is some way to hold them accountable if they disarm us and anything happens to us.
Awesome. Now, when you say public buildings, I mean, you're not just talking courthouses. I imagine you're talking places like if you have to go in and get your driver's license renewed, if you have to go in to get a permit at City Hall for a building permit, something like that.
Absolutely. I mean, any government entity, any government-controlled entity that can require your presence should not require you to be disarmed unless they're going to take responsibility for that.
I would wholeheartedly agree. So let's flip the coin. If things don't go so well, you're preparing to defend against whatever comes our way, right?
We already know, because like I said, the Dems every year have introduced bills for red flag laws, universal background checks, assault weapons bans, magazine capacity limits. It's the same thing all the time, and they'll just have an opportunity to actually move it.
Okay, very cool. Well, if somebody were watching us, now they don't necessarily have to be in Arizona, right? Anybody could be a member of Arizona Citizens Defense League, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You can go to our website. It's AZCDL.org. O-R-G. We have a pretty nice website. It just got redone a few months ago, and you can join there. You can check out our alerts list. You can sign it up. You don't have to be a member to sign up for it. Out our newsletters, you can see our accomplishments, things that we've done, things that we've stopped. It's all on the website.
Very cool. Well, I want to thank you for spending time with us today, and open invitation, man. If anything's happening in Arizona, you want some airtime, get in touch.
Okay, sure.
All right. That is Dave Kopp, everybody. Come back and check us out tomorrow. We'll have another one.